The Pentagon says it's determined to continue using the Manas air base. Well, joining me live from Washington, D.C. is Walid Faris from the Future of Terrorism Project at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. Hello and thanks for joining us. So how is it possible for Washington to go on using the base?
Well, basically, I don't think that the United States government can use a base if the host government, in this case, will say no. What that statement means is that the U.S. and Washington were surprised by the statement that the plans were that the base is going to continue to be used. But of course, this is a military source, the Pentagon. So obviously, negotiations will have to take place in the next few months, given to the base, given to the authorities between Washington and the Republic, to see if they can continue despite the financial problems.
So you mentioned that it's a military Pentagon source. How significant is the base to the U.S.?
Well, of course, the base is very significant. We all know that it ensures from the north air cover for operations which are not just U.S. and not just NATO. It's an international operation against the terrorist organizations inside Afghanistan, specifically the Taliban and Al-Qaeda. And it is needed, in fact, for these operations. We know that the Obama administration is planning on increasing the number of troops and the logistics and the funding, for that matter. So this base will certainly be under negotiations after the Kyrgyz president made it clear that it is about money, in fact.
Right, and is NATO likely to have an alternative base ready to take over the duties of Manas?
I do not have information about NATO alternative base. It may exist, it may be in the planning. There are always alternative options for NATO and for the United States. But it is my sense, from what I understand from sources, that the U.S. government will try its best to convince the government there to keep that base. But I see a bigger picture. I see that this issue may bring about what President Obama has been talking about. There is a amelioration, enhancement of the relationship between Moscow and Washington, actually. This is where the talk should be, because Moscow has a lot of influence in Central Asia, and that would be the best way probably to increase cooperation over countering terrorism, including in Afghanistan. Probably this would be a trigger for a rethinking of American-Russian relationships.
Thank you very much for that. Walid Faris from the Future of Terrorism Project at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies.